Hello, welcome to the Chatting with Dr. Stevel show. I'm your host, Dr. Stevel. Today's guest is former Classic Championship Wrestling champion and current race car driver. Welcome to the show, Todd Shaw.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Steele.
How are we doing today?
I'm not too bad.
Last time we saw each other, I think, I think you and me were walking out of the Chatham Arena. I was
Uh,
angry at the fans, but just so you can get on to your new career as a race car driver. He said, "Damn it, this is my last match, and I'm going to go driving." It's not what you said. I'm paraphrasing.
I don't know. Was that the last time we seen each other?
Officially, but I think after that we got together and you signed a bunch of pictures with
Uh,
you,
yeah.
signed pictures of you and me, and you kind of like had me like in some chain around my neck. I was going to use that to sell it to the fans, like and I was going to sign it. I fought the law, and the law won. But then this thing happened, and we weren't wrestling anymore.
Old age. Old age.
Yeah, right. Is that why you quit? Your bones are giving in, and like your back and you're hurting and whatnot.
Yeah, kind of, sort of. A lot of aches and pains. Carpal tunnel in the wrists and tendonitis in the elbow. Just safety concerns for myself and other competitors. It's just best that I retired. So
Yeah, fair enough. I wish you told me that before you sidewalk slammed me because I landed really bad on my freaking leg, and I was limping for a whole week.
that was just an experience
Yeah, it was.
for you. For you.
Yeah, it was. It was a definitely a wake up call.
Well, maybe next time you won't hit me in the back of the broom.
It was a broom. I couldn't find anything else. That was the only thing I could find. I mean, it's just
If you're gonna hit someone in the back or something, make sure you knock them out with it. A broom is not gonna work.
what's that? Is that you farting?
No game notification. That's what happens when you do these things on the phone.
Oh, okay. Because
Or did you press the
that's what
fart?
that's what I thought you were doing. You're
Or
not making
or,
yourself look.
or you're playing with your fart gun, weren't you?
No, no, no. There's no batteries in that. So it's all me, baby. All me.
Right.
Now our referee Mike. He kind of says, "Oh wow, Todd's going on. Like you can like, I don't think it lasts 90 seconds before you start insulting each other." And he says, "Why don't you invite Ricky James and they'll piss Todd off?" I'm like, "Dude, this is a legit interview, man." Oh,
I'm still trying to understand how if you were to invite Ricky James, how that would insult me or upset me.
I think he said that he's got a way of pissing you off, and whether it's ribbing or not, I don't know. But this is Mike we're talking about. If you're listening, Mike, we're talking about you.
Very true. You want to really upset Mike? It's very easy. Just send him a text one letter at a time.
Really?
It was hilarious that night.
One letter at a time. So what he was
There's like four or
explain it.
five. There was 4 or 5 of us doing it, just sending him random text one letter at a time for like the better part of an hour, and it was just he was just freaking out about it. He got to the point where he turned his phone off.
Ooh.
The stuff you do on the road to entertain yourselves.
Right? Yeah, Mike's he's been a pretty good ref. He's been pretty fun. Uh,
He holds his own.
he's fun. I mean, he actually got me into CCW. So I mean, if you want to blame anyone, blame him.
No, I still blame Jay.
Jay. Yeah, well, I did a free show for him in London, and I took on Austin Powers, and then he brought me in, and then once he found out I could take a bump, it's like, all right, you're willing to take a bump, and he starts booking me all the time just so I could get beaten up in every freaking match at the end. So I don't think he liked me. I think he just wanted to see me get hurt.
Yeah, well, we have a bunch of people that were on the roster that were like that, where they had a certain thing about them that made them interesting to keep booking and to watch. And as long as they did that one thing, Jay kept using them.
I kept
So it
doing
worked.
different things. We've got a few people online. If you guys are watching, just type something out, say hello, let us know you're there. So we can make fun of you or not,
And,
or give you a shout out.
and the thing with the fair shows is it worked. It was perfect if you had that one quality that you had, because we didn't have storylines on the fair shows or anything like that. So those one or two things that you did that were your qualities helped you get over on the fair shows to help put the fair show over as a whole, and it worked out perfectly.
Yeah, mine was just to upset the audience. Oh, my friend Karen says, "Hi guys." Hi Karen.
Like my thing is being the law. A lot of people hate the police, so it was easy to get heat and get over getting booed with the fans just because people hate police.
You would be
So
perfect right now in today's situation.
I know, wouldn't I?
Oh, Karen says, "Is that Todd the Blashaw?"
Nope, not no more.
It used to be called the Blah. I,
No,
I thought it was the Law.
only from you. Only from you.
Well, apparently the fans seem to it stuck with them.
So obviously you got at least one follower.
One follower. Anyone else out there want to say hello? Is Mike Hendricks out there? Oh, we got a few people watching on the Stevel show. I can't really see you guys unless you log into the chatting with Dr. Stevel page. Then I can see all your comments. Like Linda here. She says, "Hello, fellas. Having a good day?"
Hello. Pretty good day.
And Karen, race car doesn't have the same catch. Like Todd, the race car Shaw. I think some people called you Todd, the tow truck Shaw for a while. What's the
That was
story behind that?
that was a Ricky James thing. That's because I used to drive tow truck,
Oh,
and
okay.
and that and Rick always accused me of being super heavy, and tow trucks are heavy.
She has to follow me. I'm like, okay. Okay, I thought it was because during one of your races your car broke down and then they said the tow truck or something and so
Oh, I don't just break down. If you're gonna do something, you got to do it right. I break.
okay, now I saw the pictures of you in the race car and instead of being on a gravel or a paved road, right? You guys are driving around on dirt.
Clay, dirt, yeah.
Right. Okay. How is that? Is that easier, harder?
There's a technique to it to be fast.
Right. And how does one do that? Like, what is the technique to driving around on this thing? I mean, besides so you don't kill yourself or crash or
Uh, what's the trick to it? There's not really a
well,
trick to it. It's
like in
just
order to win, right? It's not just going as fast as you can, right? Because that could.
well, no, it's you gotta have your car set up properly, tire pressure, stagger. A lot of terms you probably are like, what? So it's understanding all that kind of stuff and playing around with it to see what fits your comfortability, learning how your car reacts in different situations with different track conditions, and basically just having a set to put your foot to the floor and hold on without slowing down too much.
Uh,
Basically,
okay. Linda says, "Get technical, Todd. Elaborate." I will just nod and smile. If you start getting technical, I will agree with you and ask questions when I need to.
okay, well, give you an example, like tire pressure is just obviously the amount of air that's in your tire, and stagger is uh, the size of each tire from side to side. So the more air you put in a tire, the larger the tire is going to be.
Right.
We also have different size tires where they could be a 26-inch tire and a 27-inch tire, and then when you inflate them, they get bigger. So the more air that's in it gives you different size tires. So say on my left front of my car, the driver's side and on the front, I have a tire that's 84 inches in circumference. And then on my right side, I'll have a tire that's 88 inches in circumference. So that gives me 4 inches of stagger.
Now, why? Okay, why would you have two different sizes? Like, two
Helps
different.
the car rotate in the corner. So basically, with having something like that, where if I let go of the steering wheel, the car automatically turns left. So which means I'm turning left less as opposed to someone else that had two tires the same size.
Oh, okay. So, okay, gotcha.
So we kind of take like a styrofoam cup and roll it, and it always spins one way or the other. That's because the sizes are different.
Oh, okay. I did not know that. Linda asked, do you have a roll bar, extra reinforcement in grill bumper?
Yeah, cars are completely got full roll cages, engine cages, rear clip cages. My car is a tank. There's probably a lot more bars in it than what's needed, but safety first.
What got you interested in doing this? I mean, like before you're a wrestler, right? You're entertaining people in front of a crowd. Is this way people can't hear you can't hear the booze or what? Sorry, I couldn't help it.
No, we can still hear the booze during driver introductions sometimes.
Oh wow, that's terrible.
I don't get booed though. I'm kind of liked in the racing
Oh, you're a
atmosphere.
local hero?
Not really a local hero, just not hated yet.
Yeah.
Usually the people that get hated in racing are the ones that win week in and week out, and they get accused of cheating and everything else and stuff. So I'm not there just yet.
So
But
if you become a winner, you're hated. That's weird.
if you're winning all the time, you tend to get hated by people that don't really know you because they get tired of, oh, well, it's just this guy wins again.
Right.
Like my
Okay.
dad, for example, my dad wins like every single weekend, and it's just, yeah, some people hate him because he wins all the time and accuse him of cheating, and then others like him and cheer for him. It's hit and miss.
Okay. Linda says you must be pretty buff handling this type of car.
Power steering does wonders. I have wheeled the race car without power steering before, and trust me, it's so much easier with power steering.
All right. So you just you're right up there. She put you up there on the shelf, and you just like yeah.
No, you still need to be able to handle the car because it fights you a lot, but power steering helps. But to answer your question, though, how did I get into it?
Yeah.
It's just a family thing. My dad did it for years while we were kids and took us out at the track every Saturday night. You just kind of get hooked. I just started later in life because I did it all myself out of my own pocket as opposed to letting someone else just throw me in a car and getting familiar with the car, and that way everyone kind of gets into it a little different, but I built my own car and went from there.
Wow. How long did it take you to build?
Well, we bought a chassis used, and then we bolted all the suspension parts on it. Then I went out and bought a motor that was already built and that kind of stuff, put it in. And then having my dad's knowledge and my brother's knowledge about race cars helped me put it all together. I think from the time we started to the time we were done, I think it was about 2.5 months.
Okay. So you guys like the Shaw family there? You get out there and if someone's winning, like you got your brother comes in, just smashes him, gets him out of the way, to help you out. You don't do that kind of stuff.
No, not really. Usually it's my brother trying to run me off the track in order to take my track position. It's a brother rivalry for sure in that aspect. The very first race I got back when I went back into racing, my dad welcomed me to the class by rear-ending me a little bit and almost spun me out. I should have went around because he would have got black flags because he spun me out, but I held my own. So that's when you need, the arms to control a car, is when someone smashes into you unexpectedly and you're trying to keep it from spinning out.
Oh wow! So when you and your family, like after any of the races, do they ever piss you off so much that like after the race you guys have like really heated words, or you just go, "That was a good one. I'll get you next time."
When it comes to my family and stuff,
in the racing? Yeah.
for the most, well, the one time I got upset with my brother because he put me in a wall when we ran Delaware the one year, but he, he it's one of those things. There's other things that transpired to it, but yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. Basically, what it was is I was just starting off on asphalt my first time, and he was coming up to lap me, and he was pushing me down the front stretch, going into the corner, and then he let off a little ways before the corner, but then because I was carrying so much momentum that I wasn't used to on a track that I wasn't used to, I hit the brakes, which locked the brakes up on the high side of the corner. But just before we raced that day, they cut the grass, so they had a lot of the grass clippings down on the track because they didn't clear the track off. So I hit that grass clippings and shot me straight into the wall and broke the entire right side of the car. So,
Oh,
so that
how are you?
oh, I was fine, but that night I was really upset at my brother.
Oh, no doubt.
And still to this day, I look at him and it's like, you got a trip to the wall coming. You don't know what's going to happen, but you got one coming.
Yeah,
But
that's typical Todd Shaw.
These cars cost a lot of money, and I probably will never put my brother intentionally into a wall just because I know how much money these cars are cost to fix and maintain. And yeah,
Yeah, but
I
what's
don't
good for the goose is good for the gander, right? And if he
well,
does it to you, why not?
just because I know how much money it costs to repair these cars, and cars aren't weapons. It's supposed to be enjoyable and stuff.
Only if you use them right.
I don't wreck anyone intentionally.
Fair enough. Well, how does one win on these things? Like, I mean, I know you got to come in first, but like, you got to go around how many times? A certain amount of times. Turning left all the time.
Depending on the race, for the most part, like if we were to be doing our weekly racing series at the local track, which is Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, here just outside of Chatham, we do 20-lap features. We do 8-lap heat races that kind of set our position for the features. Then other places we have heat races. We could have a possible B main, which is our last chance of making a show, depending on how many cars show up. Like last weekend, we did a 25-lap A main at Humberstone Speedway, where we had a 16-car B main for the last 8 transfer spots into our A main. I wasn't one of those people because I got wrecked, unfortunately. A lot of issues last week. First time out on the track since all this COVID stuff, so everyone was kind of driving over their heads, I think.
Now, what about fans? Were they allowed to go, or were they supposed to sit in separate cubes, or no fans at all?
No fans at all. Unfortunately, the Niagara region was still under stage 1 where they weren't allowed to have fans. So I'm not sure how they're going to eventually work it out when they are allowed to have fans to keep the social distancing going. But they did a live stream race last weekend where they did a free stream for everybody sitting at home so the fans could still watch and that kind of stuff. So it was different when you're racing around a track and there's no fans. It's a little different because you get used to hearing them cheer and everything else, and then them coming over after the races for autographs and that kind of stuff, and they weren't there. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, no doubt. Karen says, for those of us with no knowledge of stock cars, which would be me, is it just a regular car with souped-up engines, or what's the difference between a stock car and like instead of me going take my Nissan Rogue out there and trying to do that?
Nissan Rogue.
Hey,
Really?
shut up, man. Yeah, Nissan Rogue. It's a freaking evil car, okay?
Okay. I'll race you with my Camaro.
Oh, Camaro. Oh, you're compensating. Is that it? Need a Camaro. Gotcha. Yeah, yeah. I understand. It's cool, man. It's cool. It's cool. It's cool. The doc don't need to compensate. He's got all the material. That's why I got a Nissan. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, there's a big difference between a street car and a race car. For the most part, there are different divisions and too many divisions to list. Like if I could list them all, I would, but there's way too many divisions in racing to name them all. The closest thing to a street car for a race car is either the factory stock or the bone stock Comp 4, or I guess the V6 is the same way. They basically just put a 4-point cage in it and go racing. That is like the closest thing you got to a street car that's a race car. And then you get into actual chassis builds where you're taking a front clip from an actual car, which is the front cross member, and then you're making a tube chassis from there on back and putting a big motor in it, big tires, safety seat, 5-point harness, that kind of stuff. Like, there's so many different divisions, it's tough to really answer that. But for the non-race car person, basically it's a car with a lot higher performance parts and a bigger motor to go fast.
Okay, and I noticed that there's a lot of different types of, like you said, different divisions, different types of cars, right? What makes them all different? It's like, okay, you got these mini cars, you can race those, or you got these like bigger cars and they all go together, like.
Some of the differences are engine size, tire rules. What else is there? Body styles, chassis style.
Okay, Linda asked if you traveled to Canada and the US.
I have only traveled in Ontario to race myself. I have towed my brother to Michigan before to race back in 2012. I think it was 2012, or was it 2011? I can't remember. One of those times I towed my brother to the States to race once. I would be traveling to the States to race probably this year, considering the whole COVID thing, if we were allowed to cross the border. But right now, borders are closed, so you can't. It'd get me a few more races in this year, because I think right now I've only got one other race scheduled for this year at the moment.
When?
July 11th at Merrittville.
Merrittville. Where's that? That's near Chatham area?
That's just outside of Walton.
Okay. Yeah, send the link. I mean, if well, what is it? A Saturday, Friday, Sunday?
I think it's Saturday, but I think again that's going to be one of those things where there's no fans in attendance. I'm not too sure. But then again, I guess they just opened stage 2 in this provincial reopening, so they might be able to have fans now, as long as social distancing is being practiced. Which again, I don't know how they're going to do. It's kind of hard to do at a dirt track.
Fair enough. Linda asks, do you have a team of mechanics or do you work on your own?
For the most part, I work on my own. I do have a few friends that will come over on the odd time to give me a hand if I need an extra hand doing something. But for the most part, it is just me. Last weekend when I was at Humberstone, I had my cousin Trevor, a guy that used to help us on the cars when we were down here racing as a team of 3. He used to come every week and help us. I had him give me a hand last week. So, and then usually, because it's a racing family, is what the big thing is, and especially because we do have a 3-car team. Everyone kind of just helps each other out on their cars when we're at the tracks. But when I'm here at the house, it's usually just me.
Okay, because I'm thinking the team of mechanics. I was thinking, like, if you're at a race, like, is it like NASCAR where you guys get to stop in little pits and then a group of people come on, take everything off, or no?
Not quite like that. We do have the pit area where we park our cars in between races, and sometimes we do get guys that will help us out. Sometimes we won't, depending. For the most part, like, if we get a flat tire in the middle of a race that we have to come off or whatever, we usually have a group of 5 or 6 guys that will come just run over to the cars and grab a tire, quickly change the tire for us so we can get back out on the track before we lose a lap type deal. So
the rest of the race keeps going on, right? There's no pace car or anything. It just keeps going, and you got to, like, get that thing fixed as soon as possible.
If you come off green, yeah. If it's under a yellow, sometimes you have enough time to get back out there and stuff. Like, we do have our caution flags and red flags and that kind of stuff. But yeah, for the most part, like we don't really have like an actual crew. So yeah, exactly. An actual crew. So we're lucky enough that every once in a while we'll get a group of guys just run down to the car and help us swap out a tire to get us back out there, and that's just what the racing family community does, is kind of just help out each other out. It could be someone from the same class or division as you coming down and helping you out.
That's all right.
I'm
Karen has some. What speeds are you racing at on average? Like when you get in the car and how fast you go?
Again, that depends on the division you're racing. My class, I'd have to say we're averaging speeds on a 3/8 mile, like going by SOMS anyway, Southern Ontario Motor Speedway, is about anywhere from 60 to 70 mile an hour on clay.
Oh,
So,
clay.
so we're easily close to 100 kilometers an hour on dirt, racing down into corners that you're racing inches from each other and sliding the cars around or getting into each other. It
Oh,
happens.
jeez. I couldn't do that. I mean, you see me on the freaking QEW and a car gets too close to me. I start cursing and stuff. I can't imagine me on there. I'd be freaking cursing at everybody. Fuck out of here! Yeah, you bastard!
Were you not late for one of my shows before because you drove into a gravel ditch?
Yeah, you know what? I kind of understand a little bit of it because I was
Or wait,
I was
no,
late for show.
You didn't even make that show. You were running late, so you took a gravel road to get there faster, and you wound up in a field that you couldn't even end up showing up because then you had to wait for police and tow truck to show up.
Yeah, it's true. I kind of crashed. My airbag was there. I didn't really know until it was after the fact. Like, oh, airbag. But I wasn't thinking. It's like, okay, I'm out. I just crashed. Okay, I got to get to the show. So I just tried to start the engine again. I didn't even think of getting out and looking at how much freaking damage was on my car. Um, it was freaking scary as shit. I mean, it's one of those things. I'm going down a gravel road really fast, like with stones on it, right? And I kind of lost speed control, and then as you're driving, you realize I can't fix it, and then it's just you just realize it's like, all right, let's just see what happens because there's nothing you can do, and turned out okay, thank goodness.
Yeah, you're not driving my car.
What? What they got gravel on the little thing, that on your track?
No, it's got the clay is basically mud when it first starts off, so it's all wet and sloppy.
I like your wrestling matches, but okay, sorry.
All right, shot for shot, shots fired. I got
Well,
it.
you really need to keep your wits about you and be able to adapt your strategy quickly.
With racing, yeah, the track's always changing. You could start a race where you've got tons of grip in the track. We call that bite. And then it can fall off very quickly after you have 20, 24 cars racing around on the same lines. That line gets worked in a lot. So eventually you got to start working different lines and trying to find the grip in the track somewhere else, or have different tires to compensate for the grips falling off a lot faster than normal, depending on how wet or dry the track is. So it's one of those atmospheres where it's constantly changing. So you've got to know what you're doing and know your homework to try to prep for how the track's going to be by the end of your race. Because it doesn't matter how the track is at the start of your race, it always matters at the end of the race, because the only lap that matters is the last one.
Right. Is it easier on a wet track or dry track? Like,
It's preference really for the driver. I find that I can handle the car a lot better on a wet track that has bite in it, but I seem to be faster with a dry slick track, which is basically a track that dries out and there's really no grip at all. I tend to be faster than a lot of my competitors.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
And you say like winning races. So you go and how long does an average race go about? Like, like you guys win trophies or ribbons every time you go, or is it a certain amount of races by the end of the year? Then you get a like they add all the points together. Like, how does that work?
Every race is different. Like back years ago, they used to give feature trophies every weekend. Now it's kind of just like and it depends on the track. Some tracks have award banquets and some don't. Last year we didn't have one at all, but all the other tracks around us did. But they give trophies for like most checker flags, so you try to accumulate as many as you can. Um, you got trophies for first, second, or third in the overall points. Sometimes they give trophies for the top 10, but the trophies for fourth through 10th are a little bit smaller than those that were from first, second, and third type deal. You usually get a Rookie of the Year award sometimes. Sometimes they do a hard break award for the person that crashed the hardest all season long type deal. Just stupid little trophies sometimes like that. South Buxton used to have one where it was the Crybaby Towel Award. It's not one that you'd necessarily want, but it was there.
What's the Crybaby Towel Award?
Basically, the guy that complained the most.
Oh, sweet.
So, it's the Crybaby. I call it the Jeff Gordon Award. So hopefully Jeff Gordon's not watching right now because he might get offended about that.
I hope he is. It could be fun.
It was one of those things back in the day. Jeff Gordon complained about everything when he didn't win, and it just got annoying. It's one reason why I never liked Jeff Gordon growing up watching NASCAR. It's just cried about everything.
I see. I don't follow NASCAR, so I thought Jeff Gordon was a buddy of yours that you grew up with. So okay.
No, it's NASCAR.
Yeah, but that what's that award called again? The Crybaby Award? The
the Crybaby Award or the Wet Towel Award or whatever.
I gave you one of those. I think the time after you lost, and you just tried to beat me up for it.
It's all character, dude. But here's a serious question for you: is this feud thing finally done, or are we still going at it? 5 years.
I don't know if we can get some mileage out of it or get another show going, great. But if not, then there's really no feud. It's just fun. Because seriously,
I think it's
when we bicker.
Well, we can bicker back and forth. Friends bicker back and forth all the time for the sake of doing it. But I mean, I think there's a lot of people that are like at the point where they like CS2 and we're going back and forth, and it's like you guys are still going at it 5 years in the making, 6 years in the making, and it's like
they're just jealous, man.
It's like
we got chemistry.
Why do you got to go there, man?
What?
Seriously, I don't know. Like even I look at it as like we go to like the CK Expo, for example, and we have fun at the CK Expo or any of the expos that we go to, in Niagara Comic Con or whatever. But the thing is a lot of it's just an inside joke between me and you. Like there's a lot of Patreons that go to that and they see us fighting or bickering, or I'm carrying you on my shoulders like a fireman carry, and they're kind of like, what are these two idiots doing? Type deal. Those of our close friends that follow us on Facebook or these chats or these digs back and forth with one another know, but everyone else don't. It's like an inside joke that no one's getting.
They can find. It's not my fault they can't get it if they're not educated or cultured enough to follow the freaking doctor or the blah.
See right there, the blah. Why?
I'm sorry. I was gonna say Todd the law, but it just naturally came out.
Will you zip your lips over there?
She's on my side. She's on my side.
No, she's laughing at your bald head.
It's a beautiful bald head. Check this out. Wow, shiny too.
You must have waxed it before you came online.
That's right. I gotta look good. I mean, that's a cool little mop you got there. I mean, it's like you finally got hair and you don't know what to do with it. It's just there. Like
Basically, that's what it's like. You know how long I've gone shaving my head for my whole wrestling gimmick, and it's like weird to finally have hair. Now, mind you, I have hair because hairdressers just opened up around here.
really, you got hairdressers in Comber or Chatham or wherever you're at. I seen some of the fans there, man. Like I don't know about hairdressers there. They just I'm just saying. So, anyways,
You shouldn't pick on the people of Chatham.
why? Oh yeah, that's right. It's too easy.
Well, no, because whenever you guys come back and have the
Hey,
CK
Expo,
Expo here, and you want people to buy your merch that you're trying to sell, people aren't going to buy it if you diss on them.
I don't have merch. I got me, man. They pay to see me. They paid to see me insult you. That's what they paid for. That's why they came back every freaking month when we were going there. They want to see you hurt me so much. That's how much I pissed them off, and it worked.
It did work, and that's why we played with it for as long as we did.
Like if you saw that video of you actually slamming me, I mean, there are people right in the front, the kids there, they're just freaking like they just start screaming and jumping up in joy as soon as you sidewalk slam me. It's like fuck, people like they want to see me get hurt.
Yeah.
Ah.
Everyone wanted to see you get hurt. I wanted to see you get hurt.
Yeah,
You
you
know
weren't
how
quick enough.
You know how many times we had our shows that we were working a storyline between me and you, and every single day it was like, I really want to get my hands on you today, and like, knock you down and get that pop from the fans and everything else. And it's like, but we can't. We gotta build this up. Maybe if I just grabbed a hold of you and then someone interrupted me hitting you, it will build the suspense type deal. They're like, oh, he's gonna finally get him, and then it's like, oh well, he just got attacked from behind. We had to build that up. So when eventually that sidewalk slam that happened when you hit me in the back with the broom, it was meant that much more because I finally got you. Sure, I've punched you before or whatever, and I knocked you, but I didn't really get you. And then when I finally got that sidewalk slam on you, I finally, put that nail in the coffin with the whole story. Although I'm still mad at Mike for holding that ladder for your protege to do the swanton bomb off the top of the ladder.
Yeah, well,
The refs aren't supposed to help.
hey man, he was thinking safety first. Don't want my guy to get hurt.
Refs aren't supposed to help. You know what that makes it look like? It looks like you had the ref in your pocket. Or maybe you did.
If you notice, he's got a Stevel shirt.
He buys anyone's shirt.
He also eats Timbits off the ring, but we're not going to talk about that.
He does. That's a London thing. That wasn't a Chatham thing. That's a London thing.
All right, he's a London person, right? Okay.
Exactly.
What about that crazy fan? I thought he'd be here. Like, as soon as I posted that, I was going to interview you for the race car thing, he started going, yeah, Todd, you beat the hell. Dude, this could be a legitimate, interview. Like,
I actually read some of the posts just before clicking on the link and doing the whole setup or whatever. And yeah, you're right. I kind of seen some of those, and I kind of just started like rolling my eyes. It's like, why does it always have to go to a rivalry? Like, I want, like it ain't, Dr. Stevel interviewing Todd the Law Shaw type deal. No, it's Dr. Stevel interviewing Todd Shaw. Like, I'm me. I'm not the Law anymore. Although sometimes I get called the Law still on out at the track and stuff or whatever.
They kind of earned it. I mean, and it also rhymes. It's easy for the people of Chatham to figure out. Todd.
Well,
okay.
We have one of our ring announcers, our track announcers or whatever, as he's doing like the lineup for the race coming up or whatever. He'll be like, in the 96T, it's Todd the Law Shaw or whatever. He knows me as the Law from wrestling, and he knows, and because he knows me at the track, it just kind of carries it over. So some people kind of put the two together, and some don't.
Okay, Karen asks, taking injury out of the equation, which sport are you more passionate about, wrestling or racing? Ooh,
Do you got a
good
coin?
question. Flip a coin.
Flip a coin.
Question, Karen.
Yeah, it's basically that way. It's flip a coin. I'm 100% all in what I'm doing. When I was wrestling, I was 100% all in wrestling, and I was passionate about it, and I'm still passionate about wrestling. So anyone that loves wrestling gets my respect because they love wrestling and they love the business and everything about the business. It's those that try to sit there and uh, cut down the business or try to pull it apart for what it is are the people that I don't like. Anyone that's willing to sit there and say this is the business and this is what it's meant for are the people that get my respect. And I always looked at that when I was wrestling is I was never meant or like thought process. I want to be the top guy and I have to get this WWE contract or whatever the case is. It was never my concern. It was I want to do the best I can possibly do for what I'm doing and for as long as I can do it. And I did it. I traveled all over Ontario and I put the effort in. We had our feud. I had feuds with other people, and I got the respect of my peers, the ones that matter. Some guys they want to, heel on me, steal or say like you had no business being a wrestler or whatever. But I have those that have true credentials in the wrestling business that come up, shake my hand, say, "Great job, you did great." Keep learning and you'll do great. Those are the people I have respect for. And those are the people I have respect for that have that same mentality as I was going through the ranks is I want to do my best. And it doesn't matter what any non-sayer says, I'm still going to do it because this is what I love. When it comes to racing is such a time investment sport that to get good and to be fast, you're constantly investing your time into your race car. There is no time for anything else. And I don't know, maybe that's what a lot of the ex-girlfriends and stuff hate about me so much is because I'm so committed into the things that I get myself into that it's like, well, if you took half of that commitment into your racing or half that commitment into your wrestling and put it into a relationship, maybe you'd keep one. It's like, you guys don't understand that it's commitment that makes you as good as you are. And it's just trying to find someone that can understand it. So,
I've got a commitment to bags of chips and stuff. So, yeah.
You know what? I've lost weight. I've lost 40 pounds since 2012 or
Nice.
2018. Sorry, I've lost 40 pounds.
Wow, I think I gained it.
You can see it in my face. It's slender. It's not as round.
Well, I can be like plastic, man. Check out this weird shit.
But yeah, you def.
See, I'm like rubber face man, because I got so much extra weight that I gained.
You need to stop doing that. Your face is gonna stay like that.
Well, that'd be cool, wouldn't it? I go into work. Yeah, sorry guys, I just was playing with my face, but it's okay. We got masks now, so
But yeah, you definitely have to flip a coin when it comes to which one I'm more passionate about because, yeah.
And Gramazing Reed is a magician friend of mine. To add to Karen's question, have you tried wrestling racing?
Kid, have I tried wrestling racing?
While you're driving, right? Open the door and get a chair or something like, throw it against the other guy or, like
why
oil
would
slicks, lasers.
Why would I use a chair for that? I have a 3,000-pound race car that I can use as a battering ram into the next car beside me.
Because the visual is funnier. I don't know. But yeah. See, and Karen would go to that event.
That would be a great event. It would be interesting. That's for sure. I guess wrestling is such a magical business. the classic awards. It is. Wrestling is such a great business because of the magical feeling you get from the wrestlers.
Remember what you used to do to sorry. Remember what you used to do to Mike? We're having it right now.
RE.
Really? Okay, sorry. Back to Grams before I interrupted you. Oh, that was funny.
But it's one of the reasons why I love wrestling is because of doing the fair shows and stuff. The type of matches we were able to do during wrestling show at a fair was just outrageous. You can't do that kind of stuff anywhere else, really, unscripted, without proper permits and stuff in place. Like, we had carnival street fights
Oh,
where you basically you start off in the ring and then you go through the actual fairgrounds, beating the heck out of each other with games or the hammers or going on rides and just doing like you didn't need a script for that. You didn't really need permission for that. All you basically did was you looked at the guy that owned the fair and you're like, just give you a heads up, we're doing a carny street fight and we're going to need access to rides. So you got people that are standing in line waiting to go on rides, and all of a sudden the ride stops, and you got two wrestlers and a referee that butt in line as they're beating the crap on this ride, and they're like, start it up, and the ride guy is like, okay, I'll just start it up, and you got two guys fighting on a ride as the ride's in motion and stuff. It's hilarious.
Are you involved in one, and with who?
Myself, I was never involved in one. It's just
okay.
I've been on the circuit long enough where I've been on the card with some for so many, and it's just unreal. I believe your protege was in one with Gangrel.
He was, and I was his manager there, and I had no clue what was going on. I said, Jay, I'm not sure about this, and Jay's looking at me like I had a third eye. Like, what do you mean? So I talked to Gangrel, and he just says, you know what? Just come after me. This is what you do to me, and if I come after you, run, because if I catch you, like, okay, it's all cool. And I just I was there trying not to get in. I was trying to be seen, but not get in the way because I didn't want to get hurt. And yeah, they threw us on a ride. It was fun. It was a great event. I wasn't supposed to be on that card, but when I heard that my guy Jeff was wrestling Gangrel after work, I freaking drove straight down to Leamington from Burlington. I just wanted to be there.
It's amazing what you end up doing when you want to really be a part of something.
Oh, for sure. Hey, here's our buddy coming up. Your twin, Steve-O, should win the Crybaby Award. We made that award for him. Yeah. Chip, you're no longer welcome to comment.
Hey, Chad, how's it going?
He played your twin that one time, right?
If anything, it was you playing my twin. Like, you had to show up to the Halloween show completely dressed as me, and instead of actually drawing a lion tattoo on your arm, you put a Hello Kitty tattoo on your arm.
Well, I thought that's what you had. It was cool.
It's a lion, a ferocious lion.
Yeah, I know, but I figured I had to tape Steve on the back of my police jacket because the fans are not too bright, and they probably thought I was you. So the Chatham fans, like this guy, Mighty what? Oh, the Mighty Moron. That's what he played, right?
Come on now, that's our team mascot.
Mighty Moron, right?
No, the Mighty Maroon.
Maroon. Okay, sorry. I just I left out an O.
Behave yourself.
Well, every time freaking Chad comes on, man, he just starts to bash me. So it's my payback time.
I get that, but it's almost like you and me, where it's something that just keeps going on for like years and years and years.
Oh, and Robert Bellamy from CK Expo asked, "What's it like being in a comic book, Todd?"
That was a new experience for me. I was greatly honored when I was actually approached and asked if it'd be all right if I was drawn into a comic book and stuff. It just, again, that's one of those nostalgic things that you get from being a public figure in the eye of the public, where you get asked to do these things that normally a normal person would never get the opportunity to do unless they were writing a comic book themselves or something. But no, Robert approached me, I think it was after the 2018 Comic Con, and asked me if it'd be all right if I was written into a comic book, and I said absolutely. I had no clue where the idea was going to go or what the concept behind me getting written into one was. And then in 2019, when I showed up and I was handed this comic book, I read through it and I was like, I love it. It's one of those things where you didn't think really, it's like, how are they really going to write the law into a comic book, really? And it was very well done, written. I still have my copy around here somewhere. It's put away safe so it doesn't get wrinkled and crumpled and stuff, because you never know, it might be worth $1 million one day.
Yeah, and with that same day, that Robert brought a whole lot of comics, and we started handing out to the fans, the little kids, anyways, and that was quite cool experience for them. They're like, "Oh wow, comic book!" And you're
for sure
there, like signing it like a big movie star that you are.
I'm not a movie star.
Yeah, I know. You've kind of got the looks for radio, but
Ooh.
Is it true you hate donuts?
Yeah. I actually hate donuts. Like, don't get me wrong, I will eat donuts, but when you pull through Tim Hortons late at night, because now we work straight midnight shifts and stuff, they don't have too much ready and stuff to eat, so I usually get stuck eating like a apple fritter or something. But I really hate donuts. To me, they're too doughy and too sweet. I rather have that breakfast sandwich or wrap or whatever, breakfast wrap or something. I've been losing weight, so I try to stick away from the really high carb stuff like that. Like, I really don't eat donuts as often as people think I do.
Oh, yeah, it's because the Todd the Law, right? That's a cop, so everybody just.
It was perfect. It was perfect to one show we did because they had actual stuffed donuts as like a prize you could win at one of the games or whatever. And I don't know where they came from, but they started flying into the ring, and I just lost my mind. I started like kicking them and freaking out and everything else. It's like, I don't need donuts. It's just, and it built to it because everyone just grabbed them more and started throwing them even more, and I lost my mind even that much more. It was hilarious.
As a wrestling character, how'd that work with donuts? You were just explaining it. Also, after I kind of messed you out of the title, the next time I came on and gave you that award, I also brought in a box of Timbits because I heard you hated it. And that was just.
What did I do to your box of Timbits?
I think you
kind of just
smashing in my face.
Yeah, I kind of just smacked him up into your face. Lucky we had the ref there to clean the mess up afterwards.
Yeah, he did. Right in front of the crowd.
Supposed to be counting to 3, but he's outside eating donuts. Where's the ref?
Oh, fuck, that was funny, man. That was totally cool. A buddy of mine from across the pond, UK. He's an Ozzy Osbourne lookalike. Sergio, he says hello.
Hello.
Todd saying hello, Serge. So he goes, Ozzy Osbourne is a really cool guy. Yeah, I got friends across the pond everywhere. And Chad, he's being a bit of a jerk because now you two should kiss and make up. How about no, Chad? Yeah, so are you still doing that moron thing, Chad?
It's the maroon. Maroon.
Yeah, he is a maroon, that's for sure.
Such a maroon.
I know. But
Bugs
it
Bunny,
really...
that was Bugs Bunny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He's such a maroon.
Speaking of Bugs Bunny, they're now trying to get rid of Elmer Fudd's all guns he's had. Him and Yosemite Sam, they're no longer allowed to have guns in the cartoons. But it's okay to chase Bugs Bunny with a sword or a scythe, but guns no.
You know what? What I think is funny is you have all these people that are getting offended about stupid little things or the racism or this, that, the whole next thing, have they really sat down and watched Bugs Bunny over the years and how many racial clips that they've actually put through through TV and kids have watched over the years? Have they, really? And
that's
what
why
are you
they're trying to get rid of it.
Are you going to just cancel Bugs Bunny and the Tweety Show altogether? Something that's been on for what, 50 some odd years?
They are. It's the cancel culture. That's the big thing.
Like anything of anything can offend someone. So does that mean that as soon as one person gets offended, it has to be canceled or changed because one person, has his underwear in a bunch?
No, it's not one person. It's the loudest person.
And me saying that underwear in a bunch is me being PC right now because it really irritates me trying to be PC when I'm not a PC person, but I don't need the flack on the media because I insulted someone. Being a public figure like a race car driver or a wrestler or whatever the case is, I still have to mind my P's and Q's when I'm on social media because sponsors look at stuff, or like I have one of my sponsors on the car on my Facebook, and if he's watching the video right now and I start being, not PC or offensive, they can get mad at me and, say they no longer want to sponsor me anymore. So I'm always in the public eye, and I got to be careful what I say and kind of do and that kind of stuff too.
Oh, so is that why your head was ready to explode half the time? Because you couldn't really tell me off in front of people?
Well, no, like in wrestling, I could say anything I wanted because I was just getting heat. And that's what I needed to do, is I needed to find ways of getting heat and getting people to boo me and hate me so I can use, not being politically correct in a wrestling ring as the bad guy to get heat. But now I'm not in that situation anymore. Now I'm in a situation where I'm supposed to be promoting businesses and, a positive figure in the public eye and stuff. So I can't.
No, it's right, and you shouldn't.
I can't be my normal self without getting or running the risk of offending someone and getting flack back from it from someone else that could hurt.
So you mean so now in public you're trying to be nice? Is that it? And likable? Sorry, I'm just kidding, man.
Not really being polite or trying to be likable, but it's like basically minding my own business, because if I stick my 2 cents in something, I'm going to offend somebody.
It's true. Chad asks, how do you like Steve's character, the Trump, and in the wrestling show?
I hated it, honestly. I did, because it was a Trump wig with him still sounding like Dr. Evil.
That's the whole point. So I made him look good because I was slimmer than him, man. I mean, he looks like sexy.
You're Dr. Stevel in disguise as Donald Trump, but everyone still knows you're Dr. Stevel.
But it's cheap heat. It was great.
It was cheap heat, and you were doing what you needed to do as the bad guy in order to get over with the fans.
Well, they all knew who I was, but wearing the thing just made people a bit more angry. Well, especially the fairs.
But it wasn't even so much at the fairs, because even like when you grabbed your foothold of being a manager for Jackson Sparks, as let's make wrestling great again and the whole let's make America great again gimmick, people didn't know, but you're like the whole backstory of that, but you guys still made it work because people could relate to the whole Trump let's make America great again, and then you're spinning it off with let's make wrestling great again and crossing out the classic and putting your Stevel like your shirt says. So you're able to cross between two bridges there and make something out of absolutely nothing. And that's what made you guys get over, and it made it easy for people like me as the good guy to try to make you guys pay for trying to ruin you were actually trying to ruin the wrestling as opposed to
making it better.
Because
I was making it better. I made it awesome.
We're making it great for you. You didn't actually worry about the people behind you. No, You were making wrestling great again for you by trying to steal the titles and that kind of stuff. Where it
Well,
was
how
my
else do you get on top, right? I mean, if
no,
I own it, then I get to control what kind of matches I want. Come on, man. I get to like, yeah, okay, we'll take it out of Chatham because well, no, I couldn't do that to them because I have nothing else to do except for watch little kitty videos and of kittens and stuff and stare at their cars and whatnot. I wouldn't do that to Chatham. They need entertainment. So sorry, that's my heel coming. I love the Chatham people. Just
it's all good.
Chad.
We all except Chad. What'd Chad do?
Chad's one of my freaking worst trolls.
It's because you feed into him. If you stop feeding into him, you'd stop.
No, he wouldn't.
Yeah, because eventually he'd know that he wasn't getting a response from you, so he wouldn't keep going with it.
So I should block him, right? Like maybe parents should. Yeah, parents should. That was an old one. Yeah, everyone wants to blame everyone else for not bringing the kids up right.
Well, I'm going. This is as close as I will speak my mind on this. I try to parent my children the same way I was parented, and I get a lot of flack for it. You can't be that tough on kids. You can't speak to kids like that. Blah 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 blah.
See, like, that's why you got the name. Sorry.
I was like, you know what? I was raised this way. I was punished this way. I earned respect this way, and I have respect for people because of how I was brought up. I turned out just fine. I'm not a racist. I'm not
any phobic.
I'm not a person that's like offended very easily. I have thick skin. People are going to have their own opinions of me, and that's fine. Or they're going to have different views and not agree with me, and you know what? That's fine. Everyone has their own opinion. These days, you don't got that. You got someone telling people this is the way it should be, and people are like, "Oh, okay, we'll do it that way." No, you have your own opinion. You either agree with that statement or you disagree with that statement, and if you disagree with it, you should feel free to explain why you disagree with it, and explain what you do agree with. Or you might only agree with part of the statement. Don't sit there and say you agree with the statement fully if you honestly don't agree with it. And I can't get into politics, or we'll be here all night long.
Yeah, let's not. But there's a lot of people out there on social media that they try and be thought police. They want to. If you don't act a certain way to a certain situation, then they get upset. Everyone acts. I'm as like live and let live, right? I'm not going to tell you how to live. If you have something that I disagree with, that's fine. You be you, I be me. But that doesn't seem to be good enough for a lot of people.
Oh, exactly.
Hey, I can't help I'm a wrestling fan that knows how to get under your skin, Steve-O.
I'm on the move. I'm on the move.
Oh, you're gonna go into your little race car bed?
No, I don't have a race car bed.
Okay, this is freaky. You're not gonna go sit in the toilet, are you? Because that's just gonna be really freaky.
Oh, that should have been so cool. Sitting on my throne doing your interview, that would have been awesome. No, I'm gonna take a quick trip outside, and I'll. Is there a way
of the car?
Yeah, I was gonna show the car how beat up it is from last weekend.
Oh, sweet.
Is there a way of reversing the camera on this thing, or no?
If you're on your phone, there should be a little square thing that gets you to turn it around.
Maybe under the video button.
Yeah, pretty well.
No, that cuts the video off.
Yep.
That cut the video off.
There's usually something around here that or you can try swiping up. That works on my phone. Turns it around.
I'll just turn my phone around. But anyway, okay. So we're outside. I'm just going to turn my phone around. And basically,
Holy crap!
I'm trying to figure this phone thing out. So anyway, it was a nice shiny car last weekend.
What the hell, dude?
This is everyone else's problem.
So that they're bumping into you.
Yeah. Now this is my back bumper. It broke a weld, so I got to re-weld that. Like all these panels were straight at one point.
Wow.
I'm still trying to figure out the whole camera angle thing here. You see how dented that door is?
Yeah.
And then that's basically the damage of the car. And then I got a flat tire as well. Here's my flat tire.
Whoa. Yeah, but
Tires
it's only
are-
flat on the bottom.
No, tires aren't cheap though, unfortunately.
Well, this seems expensive. I mean, after you go to a race and your car gets damaged, don't you get upset, or is it just part of the show? Part
It's part of the racing. Things happen. Not every race do you get wrecked. Well, unless you're me, and people just get mad because I'm faster than them, so they do wreck me.
right.
A lot of the time, it's exactly that. Is some people are like, well, you know, I've got this much money invested in my car, and I know you don't have nearly as much money invested in your car, and yet you're like so much faster than me, and they get irritated, or because we have a 3-car team, my dad or my brother might rub up on somebody, and then because I'm a little bit slower or off the pace than they are, and they can't get to my dad or my brother to try to inflict revenge, they go and take a round out of my car because I'm part of the team. It's like, I'm just guilty by association. I race you clean, race me clean. Like it's stuff like that that irritates me. Like
Well, I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna call you out on something and ask something. If you're faster than they are, how can they catch you and bump you?
overdrive. Like if we're going into a corner, I slow down for the corner just a little bit. So if the guy behind me is a little bit slower, but not like a lot slower, like we're only talking like a mile, 2 mile, 3 mile an hour slower or whatever, they just won't lift or get off the gas in the corner, and they'll drive harder into the corner to try to clip me and spin me out or that kind of stuff. We're not talking like, 5 or 10 mile an hour slower. There are those cars, but they never catch me.
Well, speaking of spinning and crashing into each other, what's the fatality rate on this thing? Because it seems kind of dangerous.
Well, I can't lie. There are, some tragic accidents that do happen that end in death and that kind of stuff, but not as many as what people would assume because of our safety equipment. Between helmets, neck braces, Hans devices, 5-point harnesses, full containment seats, the amount of bars that we put in the car, we try to do everything in our power to keep our driver safe. And then the tracks, depending on the tracks, they can have, every track needs a safety crew. And then they can implement other safety implications like installing walls and that kind of stuff so cars don't go flying off the ends and that kind of stuff, or catch fences to keep the cars from flying into the stands and at the fans and that kind of stuff, which you can see videos of it happening and stuff, but the fence can only do so much.
Right.
So
right.
Things happen, but it's not like an everyday an occurrence that people have to sit there and worry about.
In crashes, how often do the vehicles catch fire?
It depends if they're leaking oil or anything, and it touches something hot. I've caught on fire once. It was leaking transmission fluid that hit the exhaust header, which caught my car on fire, and we just blew it out with a fire extinguisher, and the car fired right back up right afterwards. There's a handful of fires every once in a while, but that's why cars usually the drivers themselves will have a fire extinguisher inside their car, and if not, the infield rescue guys, they got fire extinguishers and stuff, and the driver just climbs out of the car. It's one of those things. Race car can burn. Let's get the driver out type deal.
What was your scariest moment out there during your racing? Did you have any?
No, not really.
All right. And your first time on the track, how was that? Were you a natural, or were you just slow, or were you fast?
I thought I was flying around the track until like about third or fourth lap in the heat race, and I got passed by a bunch of these cars, and it was like a straight up Talladega night kind of deal where it's like you thought you were flying around the track, these other cars go whipping by, and you're like, "Whoa, was that the other cars already?" Like, and then you get back to the pits, and people are like, "What's wrong with the car? What's wrong with the car? You're so slow out there." And I'm like, "Slow? I thought I was like flying." Yeah, no. Everyone has that mentality where they're like, "Oh, if I had a chance to race, I'd get out there and I'd like, stomp on the gas and fly around the track, and I'd like set these lap times." And no, you don't. What it feels like doing in the car and what you're really doing in the car, your very first time out there, for the most part, it's never that way, unless you're like, brought up in go-karts and worked your way up to that kind of deal. You become a natural because you set that fear part aside from you, because you always have that fear. Like when you first strap into a race car for the first time and you have no racing experience whatsoever, you got well, what happens if I spin out? What happens if someone crashes into me? What happens like this? You don't know what to expect. So you kind of have that little fear on your shoulder. So you kind of like, want to take your time, and you don't really want to go all out. But then once you get in that first spin or that first accident, you're like, that's it? Okay. Watch this. Hold my beer. And that's basically the way I drive now, is like, okay.
Hold your beer.
It's like hold my beer, and I put that on the back of my race car last year, was hold my beer. If you have a chance to watch the YouTube footage from last week on Humberstone, it got to a point where two cars made contact, and there was kind of a hole down the center, and I was like, okay, hold my beer. I'm going for it. And I ended up catching the one guy, and I ended up wrecking out of the race, because it's just, sometimes you got to make a move, and sometimes you make the move at the wrong time, and sometimes you make the right move. And at that moment, I should have waited a little bit longer, but I tried making a move and didn't pan out.
All right, so it's more than just freaking going fast. You got strategize everything.
Yeah, sometimes it's the bottom of the track working better than the high line, and if it is, and the slower cars in the bottom line, well, how do I get around them on the high side without really losing my momentum? And so it's picking and choosing when you got to make your move. Sometimes you make the move too soon, and then you get passed right back, or you wait too long, and then you don't have enough time to complete the full pass. It's kind of what happened last week. I waited a little too long to get my nose in there to try to make the pass, and I cleared the one car, but I didn't clear the other.
Definitely gonna watch that video. Where's it at? What's the track name? Humberstone.
It's under GeForce TV, Humberstone Speedway, or the Lockdown Showdown, or whatever it was called.
Okay. Cool. And that's Humberstone is in the Niagara area, right?
Yeah, it's in Port Colborne.
Nice. And you usually hold on. There's is there a school to learn to drive race cars, or you learn from other drivers, or is it a combination of both?
There are race car driving schools. They teach you a lot of different stuff, like how to set up cars, how the car should handles, what to expect when the car is handling a certain way, that kind of deal. They get into marketing, and like when those like race car driving schools or sessions happen, they basically cover everything, like in the aspect of racing and stuff, and they try to make better drivers out of you. And then others can't afford kind of like the sessions or seminars, so they kind of learn on their own, or you get lucky where you have a dad that's been doing it for 30 years like myself, and it's like if I know I'm not doing something as well as him, I looked at him and it's like, this is what the car is doing, and I know what the car should be doing. What should I be doing different to get the car to do this? And for the most part, he'll tell me. And or if I'm get up behind him on a race, I will just follow him around the track and try to learn the way he's going around the track, because obviously he's a fast guy. So if that's the way he's going around the track, and if I can duplicate that, then I'm going to be faster around the track. So it is a combination of both. It's driving schools, learning, talking. It's whatever you can do to get that edge over your competitors.
What would you recommend for people that want to get into racing?
Take your time. Learn what your car can do and learn the track before you really get worried about racing other cars on the track. Because when you're concerned about passing and being fast like the other, that's usually when you start causing more accidents and becoming a hindrance out on the track. It's baby steps. Everything's baby steps. You got to learn to know what the track's going to do with the way your car is set up. You need to understand how your car is handling towards track conditions, or what your car is going to do if you gave it a little too much gas or not enough gas, and how the car is going to handle before you can get around other cars. Like, you don't know if you can go into a corner, say, doing 60 miles an hour, but you're racing up with someone and they're doing 60 mile an hour, but you don't know if you can control that. Well, chances are if you go in the corner and you panic, you're going to wreck yourself and the other person. So get by yourself, get some seat time behind the wheel, and just turn some laps by yourself and get comfortable with the car and comfortable with the track, and then start getting racy with other cars and seeing if you can duplicate what they're doing, and then making the small adjustments to make that car work the same way everyone else's is. Seat time. Get in it and do seat time. That's all. It all comes down to seat time. The longer you drive and are in the seat for it, the better of a driver you're going to be.
Is it kind of intimidating when you got a driver with people so close to you?
No.
Or do you just get rid of that after a while?
It starts when you first get out there. You kind of get nerves, but then after a while, it's just another day in the office. It's kind of like wrestling. Your very first wrestling match, your nerves are built up. You're not sure what to expect. Or your first 100 matches, then after a while, it's you get comfortable with it. You know what you're doing, and all this other kind of stuff. So those nerves go away, but you still kind of get those butterflies every once in a while. But it's not the same kind of butterflies. It's just the nostalgic of being able to do what you love doing. So.
Oh, cool. And so when can we see you racing? Just go on the YouTube channel, or the next show you said again is July?
It's July 11th in Merrittville. I'm pretty sure they're going to do a live stream as well. I'm not 100% sure. But you can check out last weekend's race at GeForce TV.
GeForce
YouTube.
TV?
Yeah, on YouTube. It's GeForce TV. I believe it's called the Humberstone Lockdown Showdown. The date, let me double check to see what the date was. It was June 13th, 2020. That was a full event stream. It's up there for streaming still. So anyone that's watching this wants to try to or wants to watch any of the last week's race, it's up there. It's good action. It was an action-packed B main, that's for sure, for the race that I raced in. Even the features, the A mains and stuff, they were pretty action-packed.
Okay. Now you don't have those like trophy girl, the race girls anymore, right? Or was that never a thing in Canada that they got
No,
rid of a while ago?
I guess you can kind of say we do have trophy girls every once in a while. I guess depending on the track you go to, they'll have their representative that brings down the trophy or the feature board, checker flag and stuff that will take the pictures and stuff. It's one of those things. It's kind of more if a track is interested in having it, and there's I'll be PC again. A gentleman or a woman that would like to be a trophy presenter, trophy person, I guess you can. I guess, yeah, you can't even say gentleman or woman because, there's going to be that weird oddball that's out there that, I identify as an Apache helicopter.
That's a transformer. More than meets the eye, man.
Right. But yeah, it is cool. It is gender friendly. It doesn't matter what gender you identify as. You can be a trophy person as long as you get a hold of your track and ask. Basically, probably. I don't know. I don't own a track, so I don't know.
And now, speaking of that gender neutral stuff, when it comes down to racing, right? Doesn't matter if you're male or female behind the wheel, right? You can all race together.
We can all race together. It comes down to respect. If you can respect your equipment and respect other people's equipment, other people will respect your equipment and respect you as well. Comes down to respect.
A lot of equipment there to respect. Cool. Thanks a lot, Todd. It was fun learning all about this. We had a little bit of back and forth here that just got you to relax a bit more, which was nice. I'd like to come to one of the shows, so keep posting when it's out there. If I get a weekend, I'll just check it out sometime.
Well, for sure.
Want to see what Todd's all about?
If you want to come and get your hands dirty at Martinsville, Merrittville, I could always use this. Could always have one of the spots on the crew or whatever.
Well, what would I be doing?
Changing tires, scraping mud.
Changing tires. Right.
Like I said, if you want to get your hands dirty, but I understand, you might get sunburnt on your forehead and stuff. So.
I know, right? I gotta worry about that. I had that happen once. Right, I was marching in a parade for one of our friends. Is Dr. Evil. There's no shelter. It was really hot, and my head got burned, and I was like peeling for the next 2 weeks. It was really scary.
Yeah, I'd say I'd have an extra helmet for you, but I'm afraid your head would be too big for it.
Right. That's the reason I chose that picture of you to put on the promo, because it did cover that face, right? It's just and people go, "Wow, Todd, yeah, it's not so bad. That's not what." Too far? Did I just get?
No.
Okay.
It's a good fit. It's a good picture. It was my hero card picture from 2018.
Zentrinius, I'll definitely check out the race here, which is good.
So
that's Prieston. He's with me at Crossfire Wrestling. Jay Crawford. Closest speedway we have around here was Capital Speedway. It closed down 3 years ago. We had a great time going to see the races. They're so fun. Jay Crawford is up in Deep River, Ontario.
Okay. It's always bad when a racetrack closes down.
Oh, Chad wants to do a mascot for you. That's awesome.
Don't need mascots in racing. Or, I shouldn't say mascots in racing because there are. I'm sorry. I don't need a mascot because that's just It's all
well, Todd. To be fair, Todd, the Chatham Maroon, he does look similar to you. I mean, because he's got the big helmet, he's got the your face on there, but he's just taller. So if he just walked around, like a race car Todd Shaw on it, I think that'll be cool. No?
No.
Sorry. Question for Todd. Are you going to be working in the ring after COVID-19 is squared away?
No, I am officially 100% retired from wrestling. I might run shows or purchase a ring to run my own company, but when it comes to actually in the ring working as a wrestler, I am retired.
That's because he couldn't handle the doctor. Doctor put him out of business. I pushed him too far. I pushed Todd as far as he's ever gone. It,
You had nothing to do with that, Steve.
sure, I did, dude. You became popular because of me.
Yeah, whatever helps you sleep at night.
Oh, seriously. But before I came in there, right? You're losing a steel cage match, and then because of me, you suddenly people start getting behind you, and they start cheering for you, and you became the hero of Chatham, the hero of Classic Championship Wrestling. You became their champion. And how did you do that? You beat my guy. But my guy's no slouch either because with me we beat Cody Deaner 1, 2, 3, and you took advantage of that after my guy fought a really tough match. And you know, props to you because you took advantage of a good situation and took advantage of my tired guy and you pinned him after he was tired. But that's cool. You got the belt that way. But at least you got it. Doesn't matter how you get it, as long as you get it, right? And
Okay,
you're welcome.
I'll give you that, but I did give him a rematch, and it wasn't just a regular rematch. It was a best 2 out of 3, and I believe I still walked away victorious on that one. So I even
Yeah,
gave
but it
him.
wasn't a
So not only did I give him a match, I gave him a match where he had better chances of winning because he only had to beat me twice out of 3 times.
Yeah, but it wasn't a clean sweep, man. That second pin was well earned. A swanton off the ladder, boom! And I was there counting in slow motion. 1, 2, 3.
Thanks, Karen.
What'd she say? Okay.
She was saying, thanks, guys. It was really interesting. Good luck racing.
And Prieston says, "Welcome to the retired life, brother. No more bumps unless it's racing, man."
Trust me, sometimes I wonder if I'm still wrestling when I'm in the race car because the track can be so rough sometimes. I get bruises all over my body just from the seat, and I'm like, I didn't even get hit this hard in wrestling, never mind on the racetrack.
Wow.
Sometimes you get hit hard enough, it rattles your cage.
Oh, geez. This guy again, Chip. Stevel, you're holding.
But
What? I don't know what he said.
You were holding. I'm up. Oh,
I think. What?
You were holding me up so I couldn't touch the floor because you cost me that cage match, which you did. The whole point is you have to hit the floor in order to win. That's what he's referring to.
Okay, that's fair, but you remember you said safety first. And I was seriously, I was afraid you were going to fall and hurt yourself. So I want to make sure that you came down, softly and gently. But it's not my fault that your opponent just crawled out of the ring before you did. But you were safe. Sorry, stop. I don't know. At least it's better than your phone. Your phone sounds like a fart. But no, it was fun, man. Thanks a lot for having me in CCW when you're booking. I mean, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, it helped me live out a dream, as I told you and many other people. Never thought I'd get to do that in my advanced age, but you helped me, and I freaking really enjoyed working in the ring and dealing with the crowd, and learned how to respect the business a lot more. And I still like the old kayfabe thing, and I try and keep it going. That's why we had the feuds online, but sadly, I couldn't stop. Can't help myself.
Yeah, they kind of just keep going and going and going.
Yeah, but as long as I know that you can, you're not seriously offended, and I'm not when you kind of get the best of me. It's all fun.
Thick skin.
Yeah. But yeah, thanks a lot, man. We'll definitely try and check out your the racing, and thanks for everything you've done in wrestling in the Chatham area. Hopefully, you can get something happening again in Chatham.
You never know. Anything's possible. Right now, it's kind of hard with this whole COVID thing. So I've got a line on a ring. If everything works out just the way it's supposed to, and I can get a hold of this ring, and I can get the proper insurance and maybe some advertising partners or business partners that want to go in on owning a wrestling company and stuff, we just might be able to work something out.
Oh, cool. Before we go, Prieston, I'm 100% behind Steve will continue his work as a manager. He'd be part kayfabe, too talented to be behind the scenes. Oh, thank you. Because I showed him a lot of videos every time we did something because I really trust and respect Prieston. He gave me my break in, Crossfire Wrestling as a cameraman, so I kept trusting him and going for opinions and whatnot. So it means a lot coming from him. You guys should hug it out after COVID.
I don't know.
How about no, Karen? No.
If you want my honest opinion, my honest opinion, I think
Karen.
I know where COVID originated from.
Well, you're not going to start that again. Good. Sid Vicious. You remember Sid Udy? Robert Bellamy does a Vicious Circle podcast, right? And I came on, and of course, Sid said the same thing to me. Apparently, you guys must have the same writers. You both freaking hate me for some reason. Sid's afraid of me as well, but can't handle the brain. The genius.
See, it's not that we have the same writers. It's just we know the truth. You are the virus. When we get rid of you, the whole world will be better.
That's a good wrestling gimmick. I'm the virus. Call him COVID. Comes in a mask, little sticky things out, and he just like touches the wrestler and just like start choking. And 1, 2, 3, boom.
There you go. First match booked for Chatham whenever it comes back. You can be COVID-19 versus whoever I put you up against. And let's see if you can take over the new wrestling company as COVID-19 or if the wrestlers just beat you down and cast you aside.
Wow, that's just, you sound like Jay now. Oh, he just wanted me to get beat up. All right, thanks a lot. I mean, we could go on forever and just keep starting this thing. So I'm going to end this on a high note, man. Thank you very much.
No.
Karen, if we hug, I'm not telling you. All right.
I just want to take time to thank my sponsor, Total Package Management, as well, for sponsoring the race car this year and also through to 2021. It's great to have them on board. If you ever need your packages delivered or anything of that sense, give them a call. I'm sure they can hook you up with some great rates. Just let them know that I sent you, and you just might even get a discount.
Cool. Get your packages delivered. Booyah. All right, take care. Ending broadcast.